back to what is now the iconic Shed Talk featuring Charlie. Say hello. He's obviously very excited about today's topic. So, yeah, I just had this little thought about the untold dangers of psychedelics and what isn't really often spoken about in this whole scene. We know all about HPPD and other actual physically dangerous aspects to the psychedelic experience. Some psychedelics actually can be physically harmful. Obviously, if you abuse, if you're going about abusing 5-MeO DMT all the time, chances are you might have some actual physical side effects that could actually be permanent. So, really got to be safe with all this. And another thing we should also know is how different everybody is wired up genetically, on a brain chemistry level, consciously. So, I do like to reiterate. Got a bloody frog in throat like. I do like to reiterate that what might work for one person might not work for another. There's a lot of cases on the channel, I talk about these trip reports, where someone might take half a gram of mushrooms or 100 micrograms of LSD, and they have some super out of this world experience. And a lot of people in the comments, I bet you've seen them yourself, you might even be one of them, perpetrators, that doesn't get the fact that everyone is wired up in a different way and responds to these chemicals radically differently. And yeah, it's a very, very wide gamut, the range of effects that you can experience on psychedelics, and everybody is operating on some different level of, like I say, genetic makeup, brain chemistry, all these other factors that go into the experience, not just set and setting, which is sort of the general rule of thumb, but there's so many other deeper layers that can affect your psychedelic experience. And on a level, we don't really know fully what's going on with us in terms of all those variables that are noted, the genetic differences between us all. You don't actually fully know, do you, unless you've, I don't know, you somehow examine yourself using some super scientific device. I know for a fact, for myself personally, I'm going on a bit of tangent here, but I will loop it back in, don't worry.
Relax.
So I know for myself personally, I'm super sensitive to psychedelics, and I know other people who are quite resistant to their effects. I've known people take 600 micrograms of LSD and just have like a very basic trip, not feel anything at all. If I took 600 micrograms, I guarantee I'd be running around naked in Manchester again. Classic. So, what of the main untold danger, I think a lot of you do know about it, but for the general audiences and people who've never taken this stuff don't know, is that if you take psychedelics a lot, habitually, they can actually unground you from this sober, material, three-dimensional reality, and you can get a bit lost in the, let's say, astral planes. Not literally. I mean, you could literally get lost, and you could be half here, half up there. But there's more in a figurative term of like you're lost in esotericism. You're lost in the lofty, higher dimensional regions of consciousness, and you can really detach you from this, what is going to be the bulk of your life experience. It's in this very sort of mundane, I don't really like to use that word because it has sort of negative connotations, when life is anything but mundane. This is the least mundane thing. Have a look, dog, clothes, chair. This is not mundane, it's just how you perceive it. But sort of the day-to-day life, the normal reality of just work, the 9 to 5, I bet a lot of you are stuck in that, and yeah, life, for the most part, is quite by the numbers, isn't it? And if you're taking psychedelics all the time, yeah, you're going to have these beautiful insights into God realization, the beauty of life, the non-dual nature of existence, etc., however you want to phrase it. But if you're doing that a lot, you're going to seriously lose yourself in it. And the reason I talk about this is because it actually happened to me when I was in my peak psychedelic smashing phase of 2016 to 2020. I'd say. And whilst it was possibly the most delicious slice of character development in my whole life, it also really detracted me from working on sort of like the lower end of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like shelter, food, relationships, etc. Just the lower sort of survival stuff. And I was just almost addicted to the top of the pyramid, the self-actualization stuff. And I noticed a lot of people, actually personally from doing YouTube now and having quite a wide audience of people who message me on Instagram, on my Discord, and just interacting on the comments, some people really do seem to be lost in the higher planes, and they don't know how to hold the job, they don't know how to talk to people, they're scared to leave the house, but they're more than happy to go and talk to DMT entities from Planet Marklar, which, yeah, that's all well and good, and you're doing, fair plays to you, kudos, you're going places 90% of humans are never going to go, or even know about. 99.9% of people don't even realise this is a thing. They might have heard it's a thing, but they don't know it's a thing. These other worlds and other states of being, higher dimensions, infinity, God, the whole shebang. So if you're just constantly running around in circles, just chasing, you're gonna lose yourself, and you won't be able to really. Actually, another thing about it is that this is a problem. Personally, that I've experienced is it can actually dissolve your ideas of separation. You can get a bit too lost in the oneness of like, oh my God, it's not real. People don't exist. You don't exist, Charlie. He's not even bothered. And you can get a bit obsessed with that, and the ego will play tricks on you. It will turn this into a negative thing. There's a beauty in the oneness and lack of distinction in the fabric of reality. But the ego, being the ego, loves to spin this into a negative concept, and it can really destroy your life. It sent me into a spiraling cascade of depression and anxiety for many years when I was just like, it was all going really well with psychedelics or spirituality. I'm honing in and meditating and realising my higher self and all that. But then there's a point, sort of the dark night of the soul, where the ego backlash comes in like a fucking tidal wave. And then it's like, wait, no, actually, this is all wrong, this is horrible, I'm just here alone in this universe and it's myself and it's so bad. And then you really, just if you're going through this, I bet some of you are, this sort of destructive, nihilistic, solipsistic bubble, you've got to dial it back and realise that there was a sense of love that you gained from that revelation, and then now you've sunk back into the ego, you sunk back into the lower state of consciousness, and you're perceiving it as something wrong, as something bad, as something negative, when it's not. It's just how you perceive it. But the truer, more pure aspect, the more pure understanding is that it is the greatest love, the lack of separation between me and Sir Charleswick. That is the deepest beauty, that there is no separation. Under the materialist paradigm, it's quite, for me, it's very depressing to realize, oh wait, no, I'm actually divided, I'm separate, I'm not in harmony with everything. For everything to be one, we have to be in ultimate harmony. There's that great quote people throw about that we're so alone that we're together. It's so very true. But like I say, if you keep doing these psychedelics all the time, if you're taking 5-MeO DMT all the time, ayahuasca, LSD, all of them, and also mixing it with dissociatives as well, like ketamine and other stuff like that, which gives you a different sort of flavour to the grand metaphysical nature of existence, and you're doing it all the time, like, you're gonna seriously hinder your development as a human being, and you're gonna have a bad time. And I bet, like I say, a lot of you are struggling with that. So just bear in mind that if you're feeling like this, let go of the psychedelics for a bit. Once you've got the message, hang up the phone. Obviously, I'd say don't hang up the phone forever. Some of you should maybe hang up the phone forever and just get on with life. But like I said in the podcast with on Psychedelics podcast, yes, the phone call may stop, but for now, it will start ringing at some point. I really butchered my articulation of that, but we're ball. Yeah, for a lot of us, it'll start ringing again. It's ringing for me again. Ring, ring. Banana phone. And yeah, I'm feeling the calling again, but I've really just waited to the best time to do it, and it is another untold danger of psychedelics. Sometimes your ego will convince you that, yeah, I'm ready to go into the astral planes, man. I'm ready to meet Nyarlathotep. And it's your ego actually wanting this out of a sort of selfish desire.
I'll never have the chance to prove my strength against you.
Curiosity killed the cat, and your higher self will know that, wait, no, I'm actually, or you're not ready for this lower self, body, the physical, the Vivec. I'm a higher self of the God head or whatever he's saying, that no, you're not ready for this. This is gonna, in the most appropriate use of this word, retard your growth. And not only can it retard your growth, it can give you PTSD. It can actually hinder your life in super destructive ways. Even just on the live streams I've done, there's people come on like, oh, I've taken like God knows amount of shrooms and I've had psychosis and ended up in hospital. And the first thing I think is like, why did you do that? Obviously, I do feature a lot of these like high dose, mega dose mushroom trip reports. But I think if you've really been paying attention, a lot of the ones that go really well are people who are super, super ready. 100%, 110% ready and raring to lose the physical, let go of every single thing about their separate life and rejoin the Godhead, rejoin infinity. That is no small task, and your ego will try to reduce it down to like, nah, yeah, I'm ready, I can do it, whatever, it can't be that bad, let's just take whatever amount of mushrooms or psychedelics. And most of us aren't ready. I wasn't ready for the times when I've gone super psycho from psychedelics. Obviously, in hindsight, I worked on it and integrated it, but I could have not integrated it. I could still be losing my head. I could still be trapped in this dire state of consciousness where I perceive everything as like, oh, it's all just a dream or a nightmare, and then again twist it into something that it's not. And yep, just be very wary of the distinction between your ego's thoughts and your higher self's thoughts, because the ego will try to convince you it's higher self, and your higher self will be like, well, no, you realistically know what the crack is. You know what I do sometimes to help myself out? I actually talk to myself in the mirror. I know I'm super batshit. If you already didn't think I was batshit anyway, like. So, and I talk to myself in the mirror, and I sort of like try to tap into like who I really am. I'm like, get past the sort of the Vivec persona, who I am in this like physical survival state of being, and I just try to tap into like who I really am. I was like, you know you shouldn't be doing this, or you know you shouldn't be thinking this, or you're really sure about what you're doing.
Hey, no, stop, just calm down, don't do it.
Does this align with your highest values? And again, another untold danger of psychedelics is that you keep doing them over and over and over again, and you can develop a spiritual ego. I think actually this is not really an untold danger, but a lot of people know about it. But the rabbit hole goes disturbingly deep with the spiritual ego. You can live in this state of just that oneness and non-duality and no self, etc. But then you go and talk to you go out to the shop, you go out to Tesco, and then you're in Tesco like, oh, look at all these people, look at these lower states of being, these ants and the sheep, I'm so much higher than them, and they've not realised this, I'm a god amongst men. And you can develop that god complex, that superiority type of personality, and nobody wants to be like that. Dickhead, fam.
Your mom's a dickhead, blood.
No one likes that guy or girl or they. It's never a good thing to be, and you're not gonna be happy. And the reason you're thinking that probably is because you're not actually happy with who you really are. Well, not who you really are, but what your physical self is. You're trying to convince yourself that you're higher self all the time, but sometimes you got to lower back in. It's a pendulum, isn't it? It's swinging back and forth. Sometimes you got to go low again. And you know what? Sometimes it's good. There's nothing wrong with an ego at all. Obviously, the ego has to or dissolve or dissipate in order to sort of experience higher states of consciousness. But like I say, you're always going to come back to this, unless you commit Mahasamadhi, and if so, bye-bye for now. But yeah, if you're going to come back to this ego state, so why don't you just be happy with it? Why don't you carve your ego out into something beautiful, productive, constructive, and just be a sound person and harness the beautiful aspects of your life. Work on your charismatic elements. Just look at aspects of your life that need work and stop ignoring them by abusing psychedelics, because God knows that I've talked to a lot of people through doing this YouTube that really are doing it, and they are. I love them all. I love everybody who talks to me, and I empathise with them. But some of them are truly off their heads in the nicest possible way, and I really do feel sorry for them because they're so deep, so deep down the well that they have no idea that anything's gone wrong. They think they've convinced themselves that this is how it's supposed to be, when you really do just need to dial it back, hone it in, regroup, and sort of work from the bottom back up again. Because when you're doing psychedelics a lot and getting spirituality through these tools, you love to convince yourself that I got it, when you don't know jack shit. And you know why I know that? Because I don't either, and that's one of the most humble things you can realise about life, and something I had to work on for a long time. I'm not saying I'm perfect at all, that'd be absolutely ridiculous. I'm not saying I'm the most humble person and I've got level 99 humility cape on, but I do recognise that to be humble requires an acceptance of not really knowing. When I make this video, when I make these videos, just before I put the camera on, I had to just sort of like take a second before I recorded it and said, right, I need to be very honest with myself that I don't really know what I'm on about, like fully. I'm just using my life experiences and any sort of wisdom that I might have attained in my life for all this stuff that I talk about, and try to do the best I can. I don't know I don't grok the entire spectrum of the psychedelic experience or psychology or life or spirituality at all. I'm just doing my best, and I hope that if you listen carefully that you can dissect the truth in what I'm saying, even though I don't really know what the truth is. But again, you can use that in your own way and supplement it into your own life. So yeah, is there any other untold dangers? Like I say, don't be mixing psychedelics with other drugs too often, because we don't really know many of the mad combos that exist out there. Like, I mean, I like doing the trip report combination. It's just like, what really is going on in your body? Like, what organs is it affecting? What parts of your brain is it shutting off or turning on? And is this gonna, what sort of effect can this have on you? And like leading into later life, when you get older and you start to experience more physical problems, like we have a good understanding from what we've studied regarding the physical effects of psychedelics and other hallucinogens on our body, but it's still just baby steps, isn't it? Very dust.
It's not fucking real, right?
We don't really know. We can only pinpoint certain aspects of what may be the truth, and we don't know where. If you're taking, like, I don't know. Yeah, I like to go back to like LSD every single weekend. If you're taking LSD every single weekend, I mean, we know if you do like MDMA every weekend, you're gonna get a seriously bad time. But if you're doing LSD every weekend, like, yeah, maybe for some people they can do that happy their whole life. But what about you? You might be wired up differently. Your physical mental engineering might not be able to handle that for your whole life, and it could actually produce some physical effects that we don't even know about. Like I say, I'm not an expert. I don't know. Like, it could be 100% safe. No one's ever actually had any problems with it. But just be careful. Again, this all goes. The underlying theme of this is to be safe with psychedelics. Just be wise, conscious, safe, and treat it with respect. Otherwise, you're gonna get your ass handed to you. And like the amount of times I've reiterated this, you're probably sick of it. I'm an absolute broken record, like. But play it safe. Start small, work your way up, or don't. Don't feel like you need to keep striving towards higher and higher planes. I did, and then literally started getting like super terrified, and it was basically sort of like the universe, my higher self, tried to tell me like, look, right, just rein it in a bit.
Nah, I reckon I'm sound me, to be fair.
Put it on pause and get back to doing normal stuff like happy dog time, and soon you'll find that you're like, oh wait, normal sober life is actually just as amazing, if not more so, than a lot of psychedelic states you can be in. just all down to your perception, isn't it, really? I'm 100% in my life reining back everything, but now I'm ready. I had been reining back everything, but now I'm ready to delve back into it and get deeper, because I know I'm now aligned with my higher values, and there's not a disparity between them. There's now a marriage, and that's the perfect mindset to be in for getting deep into the psychedelics and going to the other world. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I need to do more of these, because I think I do the commentaries at the end of the videos, but I think having a dedicated video where we talk exclusively about this is really positive. And you also seem to like the shed as well. I mean, it's not a shed, it's a summer house. If my dad heard you calling it a shed, he'd take your own back and put a few shells in you. And yeah, dog, everyone likes a dog, don't they? So I think this has gone on far too long, and let me know if there's any other topics you'd like me to talk about in regards to psychedelic culture, safety, spirituality, all that jazz.
You like jazz?
But anyway, sayonara, and I'll see you on the other side.